We left off talking about programming the options in to have a much quicker way of scanning your clients and not having to go through this long list every single time. So what you would want to do is, of course, check all major organs, because male and female, all human beings have the same organs, so for the most part. And so you would probably need to check all the major organs here. But then, as you go on for male and female bodies, you would check separately depending on what you want to see, what you want to check. As I mentioned before, there's DNA, RNA fragments, tissues, connective tissues, cells, lots and lots of areas that we can scan and look for in detail. And the good thing about it is you can scan your client, and if you don't have time to go through everything while they're there, you can always go back to this on your own time, and you will have all their information programmed. So after you program the options, you can exit and pick an option and go ahead and start scanning. So I will scan just a couple of organs here. If you notice it's going sort of quickly, we can adjust the speed on that if you would want it to go slower. Okay. Once it is done scanning, it's going to give you the list here, and you just exit back to card index, and then you have the name and the organ picture right there. It's going to organize it for you. Anything that has a dark red or burgundy color is going to indicate low energy levels. So sometimes it isn't necessarily a problem like a disease or a microorganism, but it will be highlighted for you in burgundy to let you know that's low energy, and we need to look at that and examine that. And also, part of the training is being able to understand that these are energy levels, that if a patient has if they have a low energy, which is this triangle upside down, the square, and the diamond, those are low energy levels. And then the yellow one here and the triangle facing up, those are good energy levels. And it's important to know that if someone had eaten something, or if they've had some sort of medicine, or if they had alcohol or coffee, it's going to change their energy level. And as a technician, or as a person that is operating the machine, it is your job to understand and to know that, and not to panic if you see low energy levels. We have to ask questions, make sure that with whatever analysis you give to your client, you are 100% sure that that's it. And this is a perfect program to give you confidence in what you say to your client. And so these energy levels are the first part of being able to identify a problem in your client's body. So let's go back. I can show you how I did that. So let's click on this one. It has the lowest energy levels. Click on the picture, click on test, and here we have the analysis page, as I call it. Now, here's the list of topics, and there's lots of things that you can look at depending on what you're interested in, and there's even more in our other softwares, which you also have access to. But for the sake of training and just quickly to go over this, there are chakras and auras and some emotional things that you can do. But what I'm going to show you will apply to all of these. Okay, so whichever one you like to look at, it's going to apply this principle that I'm going to be talking about, or the way to do this is going to apply to everything. So I choose on allergies, foods, microorganisms, pathomorphology, which is diseases and sicknesses, and then I click OK. The one thing to understand is that a lot of issues or problems or disease that comes into a person's body begins with a microorganism. Of course, stress is also very, very important, but even stress and emotional issues are affected by microorganisms. For example, if people have parasites, they're very irritated, they are tired, they're not very happy, depression, things like that. If there's a certain viruses cause serious diseases like cancer, and any disease that you can think of, for the most part, is caused by or is started by a microorganism, which is why in this software, in the vector software, microorganisms and helminths is a very big part of what we do here. So what I do personally is I click on pathomorphology first. That would be the list of diseases. Once I click on this, before I even look at the list here, I will click on the Adjust All button. So when I was talking earlier that there are a couple stages to finding a correct analysis, and the energy levels on the pictures being one stage, the coefficients, or the numbers here in the list, are another very important aspect of conducting a correct analysis. Coefficients that are below 0.1 are automatically considered not to be normal, because a normal coefficient for an adult is 1.2 to 1.7, and for a child it's 1.2. So when I look here, right away I see that there are low energy levels, 0.6, or I'm sorry, low coefficients, 0.6, 0.7. However, it doesn't necessarily mean that they have this or that this is exactly what they're experiencing. Now, when I click on the Adjust All button, I see the coefficients drop tremendously. They drop. If you notice here, if you look at the chronic relapsing pancreatitis, it drops by about 400 points. What that's telling me is this actually is a problem, but it is hiding. So when anything highlights in red, it's pretty much 100% the problem in the body. The other way to confirm this is by clicking on entropy analysis. When you click on entropy analysis, you have these buttons here: arteries, veins, nerves, lymph, muscles, like that. When you click on the L button and the all, then you exit. You have a number here next to the disease that will represent the state of, or the state of development of this disease. And if you notice, there's here numbers 1 through 7. 7 mean being chronic, 1 being non-existent or not relevant. When I clicked on the entropy analysis and I got a number 5, what it's telling me that is this chronic relapsing pancreatitis is at a 5. So it's at a pretty developed stage, but it's not yet chronic. So confirming that it is there. So going through again the important aspects of the analysis, we have the pictures as number 1, the coefficient as number 2, we have the Adjust All button as number 3, helpful tools. These are helpful tools that I'm going over. And number 4 would be the entropy analysis button. The button that you can use all the time, and I would encourage you to use this as much as you can, is the